Hi everybody, Crystal here, also known as Skuldsbane all over the internet. Welcome on in. For those of you coming back, welcome back. For those of you just joining me for the first time, thank you so much. I appreciate the click. Today it's going to be a floss tube. It's going to be a short one. I only worked on 3 projects. 2 of them are new starts because there was this whole hurricane that came through. I was not in one of the areas that got hit hard, so we actually got really lucky. We did lose power for about a day and a half, but we were at the in-laws' place, which is essentially a cinder block bunker that's been around for like 60 years and is not going anywhere anytime soon. A lot of people, a lot of floss tubers that I've been watching from the area say that, the wind was blowing and it was really scary, and I barely heard it at all. That place is not going anywhere. But we had a good old time. We got to cook out on the camp stove and pretend like we were camping. And so, it wasn't bad for us at all. But without power, I couldn't charge the tablet, so I didn't really have a whole lot of access to Pattern Keeper or anything else. So I just worked on paper charts, and that's actually all I took over there, was just paper charts. So that's what I've got. So let's go ahead and start with the one that I had already been working on. If you've been around for a few, you've seen this one. This is the Focus skating stocking. Obviously a dimensions kit. See if covering my face helps. There we go. Helps enough. But I have been working on this one. Last time we saw it, we had most of the skydon and some of the buildings. And I was working on this, I don't even remember, but it was during the hurricane. And this is how far I've gotten. So I was able to put in the tree and some of the snow up here and this little bit here, and down in the heel and the toe, and that's going to be a pine tree, and put in Santa and his reindeer up there and filled in the moon. I also took the time to just go ahead and outline the stocking because that makes life easier for me. This is being done with just what's in the kit, the Ada that was in the kit and the floss that was in the kit, nothing special. I'm just following the instructions. And this is actually, when I was over there, so this was the first that the in-laws knew anything about my doing all these stockings for everybody. And everybody seemed pretty enthusiastic about it, so I'm okay with that. That's encouraging. But that's where I got with that one. The first new start that I have is another one of the stockings. And this is one of the Dimensions, the Gold Collection. It is the Sleigh Ride at Dusk. And again, this is all just going to be the kit. Nothing new, nothing different. Just doing the instructions using everything that came in the kit. And I got a nice start on this. Again, this was just started during the hurricane. And I did a center start on both of these, and then counted out and up and around from there. I still have to obviously outline this one. I've got a lot of work to do to get these done, but they're getting there. They're getting there. I actually wasn't even planning on starting a second stocking until next year, so I'm ahead of schedule. Thank you, Milton. And then the third one is my second start. This is the first Mirabilia that I've ever done, and this is Lady of Mystery. And I've got all of the beads and everything that came. I bought those when I bought the pattern, so that's all set and ready to go. And I went ahead and kitted up with all the called for colors, but I'm not using the called for fabric. I'm using a fabric from Stash, so it's going to look a little bit different. I did do a floss toss on it, or else I would not be using this, but it's a nice pale green, almost, I don't know if it's like a minty or a lime. It's not showing true to color at all. It's much more green than that. Oop, it's washing out more as I go that way. Can I? That's not helping either. Well, pity's sake. I'll put a picture up on Instagram. But this is the first time that I'm working with silk, and I have been really, really enjoying it. I don't want to go back to working with cotton, but I'm going to have to because silk is expensive. As you can see, I got almost all the way across the top here. I'm about at the edge on this side. Excuse me. This I'm going to have to pull out and redo. I miscounted. So this flower is actually supposed to be up here. So I'm going to have to pick and redo that little bit. But it is going well. And this is going to be, I've got the floss stuck on there, but this is going to be the full size. It is the called for size, called for thread count, but not the called for fabric. And that is the entirety of my stitching. I have no stash. I have no plans because everything got thrown completely off, completely out of whack. Life just got turned completely upside down. So that's where that is at. If you're here for the stitching, that's it. That's it. That's literally all I've got. I'm sorry. Unless you're interested in project bags, in which case I'm starting to make them and I'm going to throw some up on the Etsy page. I've got a Ko-Fi. I'm thinking about maybe putting a couple up on Ko-Fi, maybe trying to sell them on Instagram. All that information is down below. So if you want to follow, like, subscribe, that whole thing, that'd be awesome. If you're interested in project bags, this is one of them. This is what the Mirabilia is in. Just real simple and then fully lined. The zippers work. I've been doing zippers for like 20 years. The zippers work. So if you're interested in that, click on the things and I'll start putting them up. If that's all you're here for, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Next week, I'm not going to be able to do the travel videos for a while. Life updates. So I'm not going to be able to do the travel videos for a while and what's available on a budget in the area because the man thing was in a car accident. He was on his way to work on Friday after the hurricane, and he was rear-ended. That happened. We are still trying to get the police report so that we can get a hold of the insurance company because from what I understand, or from what we both understand, the person that was driving the other vehicle did not have either a driver's license or insurance on the vehicle. So that's a problem. What happened was he was on the way to work and he was going over an overpass, a long straightaway, slightly curved. There was a big line of cars and a big semi-truck ahead of him, and somebody passed on the right and cut off the semi, and the semi had to slam on its brakes and started fishtailing, but was able, it didn't flip, didn't go off the road, anything like that, thank goodness. Small blessings. The entire line of cars back to where he was short-stopped. He was one of the last in line, and the person behind him wasn't paying attention and completely took out. It's rough. Oh, man. He had literally just made the final payment on the car. Like, we don't even have title in hand yet. Had just made the payment. So that's what's happening there. We're fighting with the police department to get a copy of the report so that we can get that fixed. So he's taking my car because he's working and I'm still not. I'm still looking for a job. Starting to get responses back though. So it's been less than 2 months. It's about time I'm going to start getting responses. So that's awesome. We're there. We're getting there. That's actually related to the last video that I posted, which had absolutely nothing to do with flosstube also. that was plans for making myself an entire wardrobe. You may notice that I am not dressed normally today. It's a little obvious compared to like the standard tank tops, and this is actually a morning outfit based off of a pattern from about 1900. It's right before all of the big pigeon-breasted gowns started coming into fashion, but after the sleeves had shrunk. I'm going to be in a friend's wedding tomorrow. It's a dark wedding. I'm one of the bridesmaids, and she specifically asked, the guidelines for the dresses were to be black, and then she added red in after I had already made this. I was going to make it anyway. This is also the outfit that I wear to do the haunted tours at the museum, which have been delayed. They are next month. They are in November now. Because that was supposed to happen the 9th, 10th, 11th, which is, when the hurricane was directly overhead. So this got pushed back to the middle of November 20th, 21st, 22nd, I believe are the dates. I can post a link to that info also. But going to be at my friend's wedding, and we were joking around because she and her fiance are both absolute horror movie bonkers. They're those people, and I love them for it, or at least that's part of why I love them. But they're both amazing people. They wanted a dark wedding, and their guidelines were to dress in black, and then they added bright red in, like ruby red in later. But I was joking with her, I don't know, a year and a half ago. I was like, so if I come in full mourning, and she was like, that would be dope. Just don't wear a veil. I want to be the only one wearing a veil. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that to you. So I was fixing this. I added the lace here. I finished making the lace yesterday. It's all handmade. I finished making that yesterday. I attached it to this piece today. I need to put in, I can pull this out. So I need to put in, and there's my underwear. Yeah. So I need to put in a hook and eye on either side here. So I need two here. I need to actually attach. If I stand up, you can see it. Swivel the chair, because there's not enough room to stand up without swiveling. But you can see where the waistband is, that actually needs to have hook and eyes here, and two in the back, so that when I raise my arms you don't see my corset, which you currently can. And I have two buttons that I've picked out that need to go on the collar, because the collar band goes all the way around the back and is supposed to button here. So I just need to add the buttons so it can button correctly. And then it'll be ready. And I can go be in her wedding tomorrow and fit it. And that's going to be awesome. Yeah. So that'll be slightly more standy-uppy. So, but if you're interested in following the sewing journey and the creation of a new wardrobe, it's going to be a lot of stuff like this. This is not, I'm not counting this as one of the suits for the checklist, because I had already made this. This is, it technically could be, this is silk. It could count as a silk suit. But on the list there's 2 wool and 1 linen, so we'll get it done. Either way, that's my updates. That's what's going on. I'm not sure what I'm going to post next week, because as I said, the travel stuff is just completely, I can't until we get another car back. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, listening to me ramble. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all for the well wishes. And for continuing to support everybody that's been affected by the hurricanes. I know the Tampa area is in pretty bad shape and needs some help. I know that North Carolina, that in Tennessee, that whole area up there that was hit by Helene, they're actually much, much worse off because they don't have the infrastructure to rebuild. They don't have the infrastructure for hurricane damage like we do down here. So if you're interested in helping with that, I know there are a couple patterns for sale right now that all proceeds are going to help them out up there. I don't have that information in front of me, but I know they're available. But if you want to help up there more than down here. They need it more than we do. Yeah, that's it. All right. Love y'all. Talk to you next time.